Thanks to everyone who supported us over at patreon.com/boards and swords. Check it out if you want additional content like the pre-show, post-show bonus stuff. And I have to thank over here, I got a nice little special surprise. You may not know this, but we've been doing some form of this show in various takes since the end of 2011. So we're coming up on 10 years of us having done this show, Philip. So thank you for putting up with me for that long.
Thank you for putting up with me for that long.
So I did a little treat for you, and I could have saved this till when it was closer, but I'm impatient, and I had so much fun putting this together.
No.
So, Philip, why don't you go ahead and click on that new intro for us? Watch very close. Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out.
We want the fun. Gotta have that fun.
Is it okay if it's okay if like when the bread touches the fries?
Do I really want to just stand still and cast a lightning bolt? No, I want to avoid you and shove a lightning bolt at Grace.
I just crapped my alien pants. By the way, I just want to let you guys know.
You hate all of us, and we're fired.
I've released poison into the AC system. You all have about 5 minutes left to live.
So much news, like all this stuff to talk about.
No, there's been some stuff, but it was all boring.
You didn't go with C.
Well, you need to go with C.
And our friends, we combined.
You've told that story.
We combined. Have I told it on the podcast?
I'm pretty sure
you have.
told it.
Well, I'm telling it again
because I just realized as I was reading this that this game's already been done. They even made a show about it. It's called Yu-Gi-Oh! And go watch it.
This is Boards and Swords.
What do you think of that?
Well, see, I'm a little disappointed in that last clip because I was watching the evolution of the beard, and then it got smaller.
Oh, did you watch the actual clips?
Yeah, I was watching the clips on the stream there.
Nice.
Like, that's
because I actually fumbled and it was off. It's a good thing that the audio from this isn't going into the actual stream.
Hey, there we go.
Because I fumbled and hit the wrong key and went to the please stand by instead of starting that. So yeah, that was I went through a whole bunch of different. I tried to like capture clips from like each phase of the show, so like you could see like all the different studio changes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And yes, like that last one is like, man, that beard is huge. And it's weird because it's also like, oh, you could definitely, I don't know if it's the beard or if it was just because I was a fat pig. And I mean, I still am. But like, it was like, it didn't really help my face at all because it just made me look fat in general. It was like big. There's just a lot of stuff on there. So I should probably get around to, hey, welcome to Boards and Swords. This is a podcast where we talk about bad jokes, good folks, and some gaming in there too. I'm Chris Renshaw. I'm one of your hosts. And then we have, as always, Mr. Philip Herbig on there as well.
How's it going, everybody?
So yeah, it's been a while. So this is our standard, oh, we got to make up stuff episode. So probably just a lot of us talking this week. And we are still going to have a podcast next week. And then that one we'll have to fill in with other stuff because it'll have only been a week.
Hey, we'll find stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's start with some news. All right. I just realized that I didn't put up the... Once again, I forgot to pull up the notes I took. But anyways, the first thing we have up here is Marvel is taking to the tabletop with a new Marvel Universe RPG. So, yeah. As I quickly fumble to try and pull up the one-lining jokes I made. And of course, OneNote wants to take forever to load. So, yeah, Marvel Entertainment has announced the official Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. The preliminary playtest rulebook will release next spring with the full game launching in 2023. This seems to be like a very popular thing to happen where people release like a beta rulebook and then like the actual rulebook. Like,
how much are they charging for the beta rulebook?
It's usually about the same price as like the regular thing, or like, except for it's like a paperback version usually for a lot of these.
Oh, okay.
So like FFG did it for all their Star Wars games. They did like a beta And then they, it was like $40 for the beta. In fact, if you go to some of the Gen Con like used book dealer stuff, you can sometimes still find the beta rulebook for that game. All right, hang on one sec. I got camera's bugging me.
Is this a? It is. Yep, it is. I'm looking at it because it depends on.
What's up?
I'm just looking at.
I wasn't centered in frame, and it was throwing me off. I thought I could deal with it, but it wasn't.
Okay, you weren't. There was too much negative space.
No, it was like I was down too low and not like the height. Yeah, so it's gonna be written by Matt Forbeck, and I do like they do this. The DC Mutants and Masterminds version did this that we played on the Dirtbags, where you're not just making your own superhero. You're actually you can make your own, but you can play as like your favorite heroes. Like they have like the player sheets or the character sheets for all the different.
Like for Iron Man and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man and all that.
Because it's like, yeah, you can make your own hero, but if I'm gonna make my own hero, I could just play any superhero RPG. Like I'm gonna play a Marvel RPG to play like a Marvel character,
Yeah, like we're gonna have a team of 6 Iron Man, and we're gonna be running around, all thinking we're hot shit.
Yeah. So the playtest rulebook is gonna come out in March 2022, and then the full game launching in 2023. The only thing I was surprised about this is that it's actually being published by Marvel. Like usually, with, like a lot of these games,
they're not sending it out.
Yeah, they license it to somebody else. Like I was kind of expecting them to license it to like Edge Entertainment that does the Fantasy Flight stuff now, since they've got the license for a lot of like the card games, and the Asmodee's got a lock on some of that. Oh, the joke I had written was, if you're a jack of all trade, does that also make you multiversed? Did you see that the game's going to have a D616 system?
Yeah, which I was like, really? Just because it's Earth 616?
Yeah. They've been playing that in a bunch. There was a clip of that in the Loki show. Which, did you watch that? We could talk about it in bonus stuff.
Yes, I watched that.
Okay.
I mean, we don't. There's that the first episode. There's nothing spoilery about anything.
Well, I know, but it's not necessarily gaming related, and we'll probably have a ton of gaming stuff. So that's why I like to push it in the bonus.
Okay.
You gotta have special content for, so like if they would, but you tease it up in the show, so it like
you do.
So people are like, hey, if you want to hear what we thought about Loki, you're gonna have to pay us $1. All right.
$1 hair.
Next thing, I'm kind of so to go along with this, I'm kind of surprised FFG hasn't put out a Star Wars themed train game called Wicket to ride. And then also, anytime I see Ticket to Ride now, I just think of Colin and Cindy. They're coming out with the new Ticket to Ride train switcher. So do you remember those logic puzzles that was like Rush Hour, where you got to like move the cars?
Yeah, you had to put everything in a certain way, and it was like,
that's what this reminds me of. It's basically,
and then on the back of the card there was like challenge modes, like do this in 12 moves or less.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a company called Mixlore, which is an Asmodee studio, that's putting out this Ticket to Ride train switcher, which basically, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, this is like this is like a Rush Hour, but for Ticket to Ride, where you get like scenario cards, which like put this car here and these on these tracks, and you got to move them to get it out in like a specific way, kind of thing. The first comment is, so it's a new game in the vein of Rush Hour. So I'm not the only one who thought of that. I do like the board though, and it slides out to have, so it looks like
for internal storage.
Yeah, it slides out to have store all the cards and the components and stuff. I'm just like, my first thought is, I want an app.
Right. Yeah. I like. That's really my first thought on most things.
But for
Can we make this?
Yeah, because it's like, because it's like a one-player kind of thing, and if I'm doing that, I'm probably going to, play it on my phone. I'd probably play the crap out of this on my phone, because I do a lot of those logic puzzles. Looks like it's going to debut October So around, not long after the new Gen Con, the later Gen Con for $25.
I solved it.
You solved what?
The number 37 card right there on top.
Oh,
in
you
the
did?
picture. Yeah, I solved it.
Oh,
I just did it in my head.
well, yeah, but like you
Move
don't
this
know.
guy,
If
move this guy, move this guy. You're done.
Yeah, but you don't know what the exact scenario is, do you? I don't know. I'm not even gonna pretend to know. So there you go. If you like Ticket to Ride, yeah, there you go. This next one, there's a lot of. If you don't like Asmodee or FFG, you might as well just like fast forward through some of this because the rest of these are FFG announcements, and this one was an Asmodee. But this next one was inevitable, and that is Marvel Champions. I was giving. There you go. What? The Mad Titan Shadow. Fantasy Flight announces the Mad Titan Shadow campaign box for Marvel Champions featuring Mr. Josh Brolin himself, Thanos.
Is this like Peter Pan where his shadow's a complete asshole and like does stuff to him?
No.
Oh.
So this is a campaign box, which means it's gonna have 2 heroes in it. So we're getting Adam Warlock, which we haven't seen in the cinematic universe, except for we have, but we haven't.
Yeah, we saw his cocoon.
We saw his cocoon in the second Guardians movie, but I've only read the comics. I think I've read the original Infinity Saga once, the Infinity Stone one, but he is a big deal involving like that story. So kind of weird that we haven't seen him so far, and they managed to tell the story without him. So it'll be kind of weird when they do get around to him. Like, what is the story? Since most of his story involves around the Infinity Stones.
Oh yeah.
The other one on here is Spectrum, who is the other hero, and that is Monica Rambeau, which if you've been watching WandaVision.
Oh yeah.
So we get some of her in there. And then just like all the other campaign boxes, you're gonna deal with his minions basically, and then finish off with Thanos. So like all the different. Like was it Ebony Maw and Proxima Midnight, Corvus Glaive. Yeah. So you'll fight them.
All I can think of with that card with the Infinity Gauntlet is just Exodia.
Oh, the Thanos one.
Yeah, the card right next to him, just the gauntlet sitting there in space. I'm like, that's
because it's
the
like
right arm of Exodia,
the right arm of Thanos. But the other cool part about this is so it's going to have an Infinity Stone bit, but they actually made the glove, the Infinity Gauntlet, is its own separate campaign deck. So you can take this and play it on any scenario that's come out.
Ooh.
And so it's like, oh, this person gets the Infinity Stone or the Infinity Gauntlet, and then like every turn you like flip over cards to find out like what stone triggers and how does that affect your abilities and stuff. So it's like you could play Rhino, but with the Infinity Gauntlet.
And the Time Stone activates, and he's now a child.
No, you're the child. He's fine.
And you punt him across the map.
So I believe this is supposed to be coming out like October-ish time frame. I don't know if they fully set a date, but that's based on what we've seen, like August, September-ish, based on what's been announced so far. That's when so another like this would have probably been a Gen Con release had we been a normal year.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I love this game. I'm so excited. Like I just started playing one campaign with some friends, and we played like the first part of the Rise of Red Skull and lost and had to play it again. So like that's all I've done on the campaign boxes, but I'm still buying up everything. I gotta have it, man. I gotta have it.
That's like me and Power Rangers.
Yeah. But
I got a shipping notification.
I was about to say I saw some announcements that stuff's coming out to like retail, so I was like, oh, I wonder if that stuff's like.
Yep, I got my shipping notice, and then I saw something like 2 weeks ago. I was like, "Hey, we're gonna be dropping our new Kickstarter."
Did they say what the next one is?
They did not.
Mm.
They just said, "Be prepared."
I wonder if they'll do like newer stuff, since that's like, to try and tie in with like all the new promotion stuff. I wonder if like maybe like who owns it now? It's not Hasbro. I think Hasbro owns Power Rangers. I wanted them to be like, hey, do our new stuff.
Well, yeah. Well, that would probably, like, the corporate overlords probably have a big sway, but then there's also the very large fan base.
Yeah. So this next one we got. So speaking of very large fan bases, another in the how many of the Edge of the Blank products can FFG make? Because we had Edge of the Earth, Edge of the Empire, and now there's going to be 2 Edge of the Earth expansions for Arkham Horror, the card game. So this was a big deal announced this week, and I'm kind of excited for it. Is that they finally are breaking away from like the monthly LCG pack formula. So the way they've done it is you'd have like a big deluxe expansion for Arkham Horror, the card game, and then you'd have 6 expansions that are 6 packs that you would buy to kind of so you'd have a monthly release for like the first 6 or 7 months, and you wouldn't like get all burned out with it at once, and it would just like, and you'd always be coming back to your store month after month, because by the time that the one end, you'd maybe have like a month or so break, and then the next one would start. But the problem is it was hard for stores to keep single packs in stock, because it's like so many SKUs, and it's like, well, we've got packs 1, 3, and 6, but like we didn't get enough of 2 in, and just there's been a lot of FFG not printing stuff as much as they need to.
5 is right out.
Yeah, exactly. So now they've got the new model where they're going to pack it, and a lot of people have been asking this in general, but they had asked like at the end, like, oh, at the end, can we just box everything up? So now they're just like, screw it, we're just going to do it from the get-go. So the new campaign, we're going to be going to Antarctica to exploring the horrors under the ice sheets. And it's going to have 2 boxes. So the first one is going to be the campaign cards, and then the second box is going to be like all the investigator cards that would normally come in. And I had somebody be like, why would they do that? Why wouldn't you just combine it together? And they were like, it seems like that's just like a money grab, but like it's going to cost you like $100 to get both of these together. So I don't see them, like, even if they put it all together, it probably still would have been like $80-$100.
Yeah,
because it's a lot, especially when you look at the deluxe and all the 6 Mythos packs. It's about $100 is about what you are spending per campaign anyways. But it's interesting because I think the reason why is people, if say like somebody's playing with me and they want to get into Arkham Horror, but they don't see the need to buy the campaign cards because they know I will buy everything. They just want to buy all the cards so that they have options for deck building. Then they can buy just the Investigator expansion. And also, on the other hand, there are some people that buy like double of everything that comes out because they want more cards to be able to build like multiple decks.
Right.
You only get like 2-3 copies of every card, so they're like, oh, I want to be able to make the deck for I'm playing on Saturday and the deck I'm playing with on Sunday and all this stuff. So they'll buy like multiple copies of it, and now they don't have to have a double of the campaign stuff. Like I've bought so that I had enough of the basic cards, the basic class cards that had to make 4 fully functional decks, since we play with our group with like Mike, Corey, and Jimmy. I had to buy 2 extra core, so I have 4 total core sets. So I have 4 copies of the base core set campaign cards, and I think that's why they split them up. So, if you love FFG and some Arkham, you'll be probably excited about that. And then this next game, you might say, is unfathomable unless you spent the past 2 weeks in any of the FFG communities. So 2 weeks ago, FFG started this like teaser thing where they started putting up a picture, and then it was broken into like different shapes, and every day they would peel off a section to reveal the image. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay. Yeah.
Well, apparently there had been a leak out of a playtest where somebody was like, "Oh, it's going to be a Arkham version of BSG," but they still kept committed to this like 2 week. And every day for 2 weeks is people's like, "Oh, it's going to be a BSG version of Arkham," and then guess what? It's going to be. It's a BSG version of Arkham. So I know it sucks when stuff gets leaked, but I feel like
so when I hear BSG, I think Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
Okay, all right, just making sure.
Yes. So the Battlestar Galactica board game that you own,
yes,
this is that game, but now themed in an Arkham universe.
Okay.
So that game had been out of print forever, probably because they lost the license. So now they're bringing it back, and it's called Unfathomable, and it's going to be themed. It's like takes place before Arkham Horror happens. Mm-hmm. But it's really funny because the ship that this takes place on is called the Atlantica. I thought that was funny. It was just kind of like a haha, look. So, strange nightmares plague the minds of the people aboard the ship every night. Rumors circulate of dark shapes following closely behind the ship, just beneath the waves. So, like, yeah, just like BSG, you got like a map of the ship, and you're like moving around to different places, and then you can either be humans or like these Deep One hybrids.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so apparently it's going to have like a whole bunch of new characters. That's why they mentioned it taking place before Arkham Horror. And so, yeah, it's going to be BSG, but in the Arkham universe.
All right.
Hey, Hoser40K is in the chat room and says he can hear us fine. I just refreshed to see it, making sure people that we could actually hear people.
The unified chat doesn't refresh.
Yeah, not very well.
I've been flipping back and forth between all three tabs. Twitch is still blank.
Yeah. So, Philip, I know we have only played that one BSG game once. You probably have no interest in this because you probably just play BSG, wouldn't you?
If it came down to it, I'd play BSG.
Yeah. So I see this more as this is for people that have heard stuff about BSG and just never had a chance to play it. Because it's like Fantasy Flight's like, we got this good game here, but we can't reprint it. Hey, we own Arkham. Let's just slap Arkham on it.
Yeah, there you go.
So I don't know if I will necessarily get this because, again, if I was going to play it, I'd probably be like, Philip.
Oh, wait, does that mean all the extra stuff is gone now?
What?
All the, like the expansions, the Cylon, the Base Star, and the Pegasus?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I don't have those.
Well, you could probably find them. And it actually might be cheaper now because now that they're coming out with this new version, people might be trying to like anyone that may not be tied to the BSG theme may be trying to like offload their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hoser says the same thing. I'll look into Unfathomable, but the game group will probably prefer BSG. All right, and that's the news for this week. There's a lot of stuff in there. All right, Philip, I'm going to turn it over to you. What have you been doing?
So I've been playing Destiny. That's what I do. And go to work. I sleep sometimes too. I don't know. I popped back into some of my mobile games just because I did offload a bunch of them from my phone onto my iPad.
Nice.
And I've been playing all of that.
Anyone
watching
specific?
Atlantis? Huh?
Yeah, you were talking about that. Anything in specific?
The Family Guy mobile game.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. I think I didn't play it for like 2 years. So, and I think the last time I had played it was during a Halloween event because I open it up and it loads. It's like the Halloween event has ended, but then something glitched and it came up with like loading the Christmas event. And then I had to restart the game. The Christmas event has ended. And it's like the New Year's event, the Valentine's event. And like it cycled through all these events that I missed until it got to recent. So now it's just been, I don't know, we're doing some,
which is funny because
70s.
you're not like heavy into Family Guy watching, but you were at least back in the day, you were big on that game.
Oh yeah, I mean the game is kind because it's just like a mindless. You log in, you log in, you do some maintenance on the game, you let it run. 8, 10, 12 hours later, you log in again, you do some maintenance, you leave. You collect all these little characters. You can build your own little Quahog city.
Yeah.
One of I think I remember something with like Stewie and some multiverse device.
Oh yeah.
So now you can go to other Quahogs.
Well, like other people's.
Well, you could always do that, but now there's other like there's beach land and moon land and grassland and like Stewie land, and you can visit these and put other buildings and design them. I don't know. It's getting weird. But it's really just something to occupy time.
I see.
Something. Hang on. Where is it? Where is it? It moved. It's something to occupy your time.
Hey, are you pooping?
Yep, pretty much. So, the Gametopper came in. I don't know if I've talked
you
about
put that
it.
you put that in the Slack, didn't you?
Yeah. Also did a whole video it's up on if you want to see me like out of breath putting it up on a table, then there's a video up on the YouTube channel where you can watch that because the box is like 100 pounds. So me navigating that by myself down to the basement took a little bit of effort.
Yeah.
I could have taken a break and gone and, rested, but who has time for that when there was a Gametopper?
All right, had to go put it on that. You put it on a flimsy ass card table, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was the other thing I had that was like, I mean, I guess I technically could have put it on this wooden table here, but I've got everything set up for streaming on it.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I mean, we played I've had one game day here where we played one of the games I'm going to talk about later, but we also played, so I don't know if you remember back in Gen Con 2019, Mike kept talking about, and he had like ordered it from Gen Con or was looking into it, this game called Mega City Oceania.
Wasn't that, sorry, give me a second. Wasn't that you had like this little, you had some sort of like player platform and you would build a city and then you had to like move it across the table to combine, and if stuff fell over okay.
Did you play it too or something?
I walked by the table a couple times.
Okay. Yeah,
when they were demoing it.
So apparently, like, his wife Heather's not big on dexterity games, so it was like one of our first game days where she wasn't able to come, and it was the first with the game table or the Gametopper, and so he brought that and was super excited to play it. So I was like, all right, and it has like its own mat, which I don't know how you would play that game without a mat, like
definitely
of some kind. But yeah, like you get all these little plasticky pieces, and you get different cards that like tell you how to build things. Or like what's going to score you points kind of thing. And then, you assemble them on a little hex and have to like push it in. I've never been so stressed out by a game in all my life. Like I thought I've been stressed before, but like Corey stacks up this thing. Like I did kind of like the early douchebag thing, which is like I laid some stuff because you get a point for being like, you get 3 points at the end of the game if you're the tallest building. And you get a point like right away if you are just the next tallest building. So I started off by just like stacking some stuff and then taking 1 point and just sticking it straight up. So it made a really tall piece. And I just put like really easily and shoved that in there. And it took like half the game before anyone ever was able to get on top of or to get above that. And then finally like Corey did. And then and then she even like topped herself even more because she got you get another point for doing that. And so I was like, the only way I'm probably going to win this if I can get the tallest building. So I managed to like do this delicate balance of things and then like put this one on top straight up. So that sucker was huge. There was no going to be able to stop that, but I had to get it into play first without it falling. And so like, I'm just like inching this thing. And like, I was just, afterwards I was like walking around. I was like, whew, whew, I was stressed for the next like 15 minutes, just the my body like winding down just from all that. It was nuts.
Is it cheating if you grab one of those like batons they have for craps and just like push the stuff in that way?
Oh, I know what you mean, like the little forked ones. I don't know if that would be cheating because I don't know if that would help you. Because there's so much other stuff that could go wrong just between the table moving or just because you could push it.
I feel like that would eliminate a little bit of like hand flinching and like you touching the table. Because I mean, if you're 4 feet away from the thing, pushing it away,
Sure. But like there was no restrictions on how you pushed it with like your hand. Like I've seen some games where it's like you have to push with like your one finger in like the back in this certain spot or whatever. But this was like, no, you could just, I was even able to take my time. You could just kind of like push it a little bit and then like, okay, I'm going to like let go and turn like my body so that I could like push it this other way. So it wasn't like a timed thing, which that was, I mean, that I could see some people maybe wanting to play this with a timer because it's one of those, like the turns go quick if you're not going to be pushing a hex onto the board, because it's like I'm going to grab pieces, I'm going to grab a card that's going to tell me what to build next, or I'm going to grab like a base to build on. But then so you could be like, oh, I'm going to grab my stuff and then I'm going to start building my thing, because you can build on your turn. It's just when someone's like, all right, I'm advancing, you have to like go hands off the table.
Okay.
And so you could be like, I'm building my stuff or whatever, and then everybody's done their turn and it's back to you like, well, crap, I haven't done anything yet. So then you're like, okay, I'm going to be pushing this turn, so let me build stuff. But then everybody else gets a chance to like build their stuff. But if you were playing with like problems with like AP or anybody that gets paralyzed by making decisions, I could see that being a problem. Or maybe if the game takes too long, you need to do like a sand timer or something. There's some of our friends that like overcomplicate or overthink and over-engineer things that I bet they'd have a field day with this game. It'd just be interesting to see their brains working, trying to figure it out. So, we played that. And the other game we played is, hey, that other game that you played when we just played just the two of us. And we were like, oh, hey, this is a game that probably needs to be played with more people. And that is Jetpack Joyride. And once again, I don't know if you remember playing it, but I didn't do so well at it, and you beat me in it, and that happened once again.
That was a fun game.
So,
and it does need a lot more people.
Yeah. So I played this with 4 people. It was that same night, so it was definitely. And this is a 1 to 4 player. I don't know why you would play this 1 player. I think that would suck. The only way I could see this as a 1 player game is if you're wanting something to keep your kid busy.
That probably, yeah.
Yeah, so this is Jetpack Joyride from Lucky Duck Games. And there's an app called Jetpack Joyride, which is one of those kind of endless runners, see how long you can last. And they made it into a board game. And so I've got some of the pictures pulled up here, where you've got not very good pictures, apparently, but okay, this is a little bit better, where everybody has like a lab. So they have a series of 5 or 4 cards. And then somebody says go, and then you have all these polyomino yellow tiles in the middle, and you have to build a route from one side of your lab all through all 4 cards and be the first one to get out, and trying not to hit all these different little gizmos and things. Here we go. Here's a better looking card. Like there's coins that you can grab for extra points. There's lasers and missiles you want to avoid, etc., etc. This is all real time, and Mike is great at this, and we suck. Like you would have like all these different challenges that you'd have to do. Like, oh, you need to go from the top of the card to the bottom without going back up across one card. Like, don't ever go up on a single card.
Yeah.
And so like I'd be trying to figure that out, and I'd be on like card 2 or 3, and Mike'd be like, done. I'm like, what in the world? And so like he was the last, like he even at towards his 3 rounds, and even on the last round, I'm like, forget the goals. I just need to like get as far as I can go. And it's even still, I didn't even make it. I barely touched the third card, and he was like, done. I was like, oh my God. So in between each round, you'll also get like tech cards that you can get that like you can freeze an opponent's. Oh, I used this one, the Freeze-O-Matic, where it'd just be like, all right, everybody stop. I'm going to think about where I'm going to put this piece.
Mm-hmm.
And things that'll like give you extra coins and give you like, you know, things that you can fly through missiles, or maybe you get like Corey had one where she could grab a tile before we started and then place it after somebody had called time, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that was really cool. So Philip, you played that. We did. What did you think? You said you liked it.
I did. I liked it. It was a real fun game. I would want to play it with more people again. That's what I would want to do.
Yeah, I would definitely say I would not, having played it with just the two of us, I would not play this without at least 3 people.
Yeah.
Is it a must-have? Probably not, but it's probably, I want to say probably in the $25 range. And if you have kids, I think they would probably like this, especially because if they know because I don't know, I mean, I don't have children in the range because, again, you need people that aren't going to eat the pieces. So I'm out.
So now here, this picture you've got up right now. You lose points on that, don't you?
No.
No.
So the way
not having pieces that fall off the board.
No, it's okay on the end. The thing is just one piece has to touch the card. So the way it is that zigzag is all one piece. And so the previous one, like there's an L-shaped connector here. You just need the terminal pieces have to touch, and at least one part of the card has to be on, or your exit piece has to be on at least one square, basically.
Gotcha.
And,
okay. And it was, you couldn't do that like in the middle.
You couldn't do it in the middle, and you can't go up or down. Like you couldn't circle around the board, basically. Yeah, you only get away with that because it's the last piece.
And you're leaving. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, but it says 8+. That's probably just for the choking hazard piece. If your kids like Jetpack Joyride, I mean, it's been an app forever, so I don't even know if kids are still playing this game, like the app version of this game. But if they are, then you probably would like this just on brand recognition because it's got all that same style of artwork is across this entire game. It's chaotic. I suck at real-time games, but I did enjoy playing it even though I was losing terribly. It was one of those that was just kind of chaotic fun. And we definitely, because there's even a system in there for like, what's it called? Like evening out skills. So even if you're playing with like a kid and you think like, oh, this is going to be easier for me than it is for them, they've got like advanced cards that have like more missiles and stuff that you can give to more experienced players. And we were talking about next time we play, we're giving Mike those. Because that was like the rest of us were all in the same boat. Like the rest of us were all like around the same card where Mike would be like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
All that hand-eye coordination, probably from playing Destiny.
Yeah.
I'm just making
except for launching the nuke too early.
You have to hear the bonus bits to understand that joke. Because I'm going to clip it out and put it in the bonus bits. Yeah, see, so lots of other stuff played. Oh, I got the I've got so much. I've been doing so much gaming stuff that I'm actually like writing it in the chat and then just like saving it from game to or from episode to episode if I don't get a chance to talk about it.
Yeah.
So like I have here. We started playing. I got the big huge Railroad Inc. Kickstarter in. That has like the giant boards and stuff. And so we managed to play it. It was like our last game day before we started doing in person. So we didn't do the new challenge modes that they have where there's the new versions of the game are Railroad Inc. Challenge is what it's called, where in addition to rolling dice and drawing out the different routes on your board, you you play out these like investigator card or not invest like challenge cards, and you get points for achieving like a certain goal first, that kind of thing. Also, what's up? Mike Hargness is in the chat. Again, our chat not updating.
Yeah.
So I figured that would play. So we were playing over Discord, and I figured that would be kind of hard to do. So I was like, we're just gonna set that aside and play normal Railroad Ink, because I could just roll the dice in front of like a webcam, and then everybody could draw and then just say what their scores were at the end.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, this box has so much stuff in it. So it's packed. The middle one's packed with all these like expansion dies, and it got to the point I stopped paying attention because they just kept adding stretch goal after stretch goal, and just and like you get this die and this die, and I was thinking it was like the normal expansions in Railroad Ink, where each set of like each expansion is 2 die that add something different. No, in these there'll be like a pack of 4, but each die does something different, so you can add and remove whatever expansions you want. So it would be a very, very long time before I'd play with like every single expansion die. Like I've really only played with 2 so far. We had one that was like a renovation die, which this is my favorite so far, which is basically you can add on tracks and routes to existing die that you've already written down.
Oh, cool.
So like maybe you've got like a rail that's turning, and you roll this, and it's like, okay, you can add one road to, if you've got 2 open sides, then you can add a road there instead, so that you could do that. So it's like it's great for kind of like, I've worked myself into a corner, and you can kind of back yourself out.
Very nice. Yeah.
And then the other one we did was in the Cthulhu Eldritch set, which was the portal die, which is it's a 6-sided die, and it has 3 symbols like A, B, and C, and you roll those along with the regular die, and you can make portal like two one-way portals basically. So like you can connect 2 A portals and 2 B portals, but you may not necessarily get. That's the downside. It's like we rolled 1 C, but we never rolled a second C during the game, so like it doesn't go anywhere.
Oh.
And then once you connect, like say you connect an A and another A, if you roll a third A, it does you no good because you can only connect them. They're only 1-to-1.
Yeah.
But you can like extend your routes and make some really good routes and stuff there. So that's really cool. So any other things you've been doing, Philip, besides Destiny 2?
Not really. I mean, like I told you earlier, I was like, I have clicked claim on every single game that Epic has put out for free.
Yeah.
Since we all went into lockdown and everything. I did download a lot of them, and that's as far as they've gotten. They're just taking up space on my hard drive.
So I was gonna have.
You got to look into some of them because like there are some. So so one thing I actually did. Okay. I have played something that I downloaded from Epic for free. It's a Dungeons and Dragons themed idle game.
Ah, yes, the Idle Champions.
Yes.
Yeah, I keep seeing ads for
but
that.
One of the things I read, because I was going through reading stuff about it, they've pulled characters from like everything that's ever been that Wizards has ever allowed a license of D&D to, and a character's being created. Like it's in this game.
Nice. I mean, why not?
Yeah. One of the characters, it's 3 kobolds in a trench coat. And their special ability is based on where they are standing in like whatever formation. Like if they're in the first 2 rows, the guy on the bottom takes over. If they're in the middle 2 rows, the guy in the middle, and the back 2 rows, guy on the top, or some combination of that. Yeah, so that's another that's kind of like the Family Guy game. Log in, do some upkeep, and then go do something else. Well,
I was hoping this episode would be a little longer, but I think Stomach's not taking to dinner too well, so I may have to call it quits here. So let's go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage.
that has been our show, everybody. If you like this show and you want to watch it live, we record most every other Sunday. Stuff happens. We're doing it live, folks. Check out boardsandswords.com/live. It'll have the schedule and the links to all of our live streaming channels. If you really enjoy this show and you want to see other stuff we do, you got to check out boardsandswords.com. It has the archives of the live play podcast. It's got everything we've been doing for the past 10 years.
It
Am I right
does.
about that, Chris?
Yep.
Yep. So
Most
you can
of it.
go back
There's an
and
occasional episode that got missed.
you can check out some relative dimensions that we used to do back in the day.
Actually, don't. Because, like, if you think my jokes are bad now, they were worse then.
You should go check out relative dimensions.
So,
Also, you'll see there might be baby faces of Philip and Chris.
yeah,
in
there
there
are.
somewhere.
There are definitely those.
That's scary.
Yeah, it is. You can email us comments and questions, feedback at boardsandswords.com. We're on social media. Facebook.com/boardsandswordspod is our Facebook page. I'm also at Boards and Swords on Twitter and at Boards and Swords Chris on Instagram.
And if I post it on Twitter, you can find me at Phil the Dirtbag.
Also, if you're wondering about our winner for our Eldritch Foundry, then I will be emailing you about it because we didn't get a whole lot of entries, so pretty much most people that emailed me are going to win. So there you go. This podcast is also part of Punchboard Media. For other great gaming podcasts, check out punchboardmedia.com. And thank you for listening. Once again, check out patreon.com/boardsandswords to help support the show. And we'll be back next week, not this time, with hopefully another show and a little bit more prepared this time, and not me jetting off to the bathroom. Because every gamer has a story, and what was that game that you play from the toilet, Phil? Hey, are you pooping?
Family Guy. Pretty much any game ever on my phone.
That's what games are for.
That's right.
Dun-dun. All right, I'm